happen in Las Vegas, we've had a lot of people asking us questions and a lot of comments with regards to medical gear. Um, and First of all, I want to say I understand that what somebody had on them could not have prevented 59 deaths
No,
from happening.
obviously not.
It can't happen, you know.
Yeah, sadly there were injuries
sad-
there that if they'd occurred in the ER,
Right.
they would have made it.
Wouldn't
so.
have made it. So what we wanted to do quickly was talk about some of the gear that we carry on our body ourselves, in bags and in our vehicles. And Chris and I both believe in a multi-tier approach, you know, because number one, there's no way that anybody would have had time to run to their vehicle that was in the parking garage 3 blocks away.
Yeah, get stuff and try to return.
You know, because, you know, at that point, I believe it was 22,000 people are there. So first you're cattle trying to
Yeah.
get through a gate so that you can get all the way to your vehicle, and then you're a salmon swimming upstream through 20,000 people to try to get back to people.
and not that, but also the fact that you managed to make it out of an active shooter scenario, you really shouldn't be trying to re-enter one.
And first responders and police officers at that time, I mean, by the time you ran that distance and
Yeah.
got back, they're already on
They're
scene.
showing up.
So, you know, this is a difficult situation, and we're not trying to say that anything that we're going to show you here would have prevented it.
No, and
You know,
nothing,
100%.
Yeah, it wouldn't have prevented it. Yeah.
But what we want to show you is something that, you know, can help. It could have helped
well, it will
in that event.
If you carry some basic things, if you're a CCW holder, concealed handgun, whatever your state calls it,
Yeah.
if you carry a gun, you need to carry some very basic trauma items.
Agreed.
In my pocket I pulled these out of my pocket when I sat down here. These are 2 things that are in my pocket today, and it varies depending on the day, which tourniquet I might have or which bandage. But an Israeli bandage to stop bleeding, and a rat's tourniquet. Now I know a lot of people out there are going to bemoan the rat's tourniquet because the tourniquet argument is almost as bad as the AR-AK argument about which is better. Yeah. But I also have CATS tourniquets, I have RATS tourniquets, I have RevMedics, which are my preferred tourniquets.
Yeah.
But they're not pocket friendly per se when you're wearing a pair of cargo shorts. This is. The other benefit to the RATS is you can use this on a child or a dog or a horse or any damn thing. But the fact is that if people in the crowd in Vegas would have had these 2 items in their pockets, this is the potential to save 2 lives.
Yeah.
These 2 items potentially can save 2 lives apiece. You know, I mean, 1 person, 2 lives. So by carrying this stuff, you know, you can affect change when something horrible like this happens. And if you carry a firearm for self-defense, you're carrying it because you may think that someday you're going to be forced to use it, to employ it to defend yourself. That means you're planning on shooting somebody. And that doesn't always go in your favor. You know, sometimes you're going to catch one. So you need to be ready to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So having a tourniquet and an Israeli bandage, some folks may not know what an Israeli bandage is. So I'm going to open this one up to show you what an Israeli bandage is. This is just a pressure dressing. So you open it up, big pad goes against the wound. These Israeli dressings are really nice. These things will hold a lot of blood. This is for a major bleed. This isn't for a boo-boo or something like that. And they will apply pressure. One of the great things about them is this thread that runs through the wrap. As you can see, I can let go of it, I can bounce it around. It stays in place. So you can put this on a wound, and you can do this yourself. You put it through, what do they call this?
The cleat.
The cleat, yes. There's another name too. And then you pull back against it. That's what applies the pressure to your wound. And then as you wrap it, you see the thread pulls out, and you can wrap this and apply pressure to a wound. Obviously, if you're doing this on somebody, you can apply it a little bit better, but if you're applying this to yourself, it's going to start absorbing any bleeding and it's going to slow it down. Obviously, the tourniquets, in particular this one, it's pretty simple. You put it on above and you start wrapping. And then once you get it as tight as you want it, you tie it off and it's cleat. This is a one-hand application tourniquet. The nice thing about these two, one of the deals, is you have a cleat on either side here, and if you have to stop, if something's occurring, gunfight, let's just say, and the bad guy pops back up, you can just cleat it off real quick, go back into what you were doing, then come back to this thing and keep adding tension, and you won't lose what's here. So these are a fast, quick, simple, anybody can use this thing. They're not as complicated as a windlass. The windlass, some say it's better, you know, but these are effective. They will do the job. But this is a very basic kit. Israeli bandage and a rat's tourniquet. For ladies, you can put these two items in your purse, you know, and they can get lost in there. John, show them the sheath you have.
I'm similar to Chris in some aspects, and then a lot different.
Yeah.
I don't own a pair of cargo pants or shorts. I don't wear them. I wear jeans. I have to wear jeans or khakis pretty much for work every day. That's the world that I have to live in. So I have to package things a little bit differently, you know. And I feel like there's so many great medical companies out there making great kits. But a lot of the pocket kits are a BDU cargo pocket kit. You know, it's not a throw in the front pocket of my blue jeans kit, even though they call it a pocket kit. Yeah. So I too carry a rat's tourniquet. I carry this. This is an inside the waistband carrier from Snake Eater Tactical. And I mean, literally just pull this out and it's the same exact
same
tourniquet. There is one thing when it comes to medical gear for my situation, I make it as bright colored as possible. You know, we should pull, you know, every garment up as high as possible. But if I for some reason put a black tourniquet on this black shirt because I was just stressed, I didn't get it there, it could cut off the blood. But it could be hard to see a black tourniquet on a black shirt. So I use extremely bright colored tourniquet, but I carry a rat tourniquet also because I have a 2-year-old, you know, and God forbid if something were to happen, that cat tourniquet is fantastic in my pocket to use on you or me, but not on my 2-year-old.
Or even a small woman.
So when people want to argue that this tourniquet isn't the best one to use, that it has its place, and for me, it works on me, it works on you, and it works on my son. So, you know, he's with me all the time. I pick him up from school. We go to the mall, things like that. And I want to know that I have something that would work on him as well. So this fits at like my 4 o'clock, you know, position in my pant every single day. I mean, it's getting worn. It is what it is. And then I package these myself. This is a package of QuikClot hemostatic gauze that you can shove into a wound. Hemostatic agent will help coagulate the blood, make it stop. So it's got 1 packet of QuikClot in it. It's got 1 pair of gloves in it. It's got call it 3-4 feet of duct tape that I've rolled up on there.
Good.
And then it's got 2 3x6 Vaseline gauze pads. Sorry for hitting my mic. Vaseline gauze pads can make a chest seal. 90% of the time, if there's a chest injury, a gunshot wound or something like that, and you're thrown into a back of an ambulance, an EMT is going to tape a Vaseline prep pad on you. They're not ripping out a $12, you know, Halo chest seal to slap it on your chest because they do it all the time. So they go for a cheaper route, and it's a Vaseline prep pad. But this is so thin. You know, I package these myself. I get just like 4 millimeter, the thicker plastic bags. These are like I think like a 5x9, and I cut the Ziploc part off of it. I fold it over, and I just run 2 little quick pieces of duct tape on there to kind of keep it sealed. And this is in my back left pocket, the pocket that nobody ever uses. You know, this is in my back left pocket. It's not a George Costanza wallet at all. Super thin. I mean, maybe the thickness of your thumb, maybe if that. And I have, you know, with my tourniquet, I have a tourniquet. I have something to pack a wound. I have gloves if I need to. Duct tape, which we can do quite a few things with, and a chest seal. and something that's that thin, not extremely expensive. I mean, combat gauze, can be
It can be a little
it's expensive.
pricey, and you do
Yeah.
need to rotate that, so you
Yeah.
need to watch the expiration dates on it. I have one that I make like that out of 5 or 7 mil Mylar bags.
Yeah.
I do the same thing. I cut them to fit, and I've got one of the commercial style sealers,
Yeah.
and I seal it, and it fits the same way.
So this is what I carry on my body all the time. I mean, pretty much anytime. If you ever saw me in the streets and stopped me, I would have these two things. And then my backpack. I have to travel quite a bit for work. Chris and I are on the road quite a bit. You will never see me without my backpack.
Yeah, he's
I mean,
always got the backpack.
it's in my truck. It goes with me into my office, or it goes with me into my meeting. It's with me nonstop. I carry a Dark Angel medical kit.
Which is good kit, too.
Yeah, I Carrie Davis and the guys over there. I think they make fantastic products. And I have, I think, 4 or 5 of these kits.
Really?
But they're different.
Yeah.
So on like my battle belt, yeah, it's tan. It's their
Yeah.
tan one. It goes along. Same colors, everything.
Yeah.
But once again, we're talking civilian use
Right.
right now. So this is in my backpack nonstop. First off, the pocket that this goes in my backpack has red zipper pulls on it. Every other zipper pull on my backpack is black. This pocket that this goes in has red zipper pulls, so that if I had to help somebody and I had to tell somebody else, can you go grab my bag, grab it out of there? They're not digging through
Or if
every.
you needed somebody to help you.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, you tell them, open the red tabs.
The red tabs,
Yeah.
not open my backpack where that has 16 different pockets in it,
yeah.
And then I wanted this one that goes in my bag to be bright red.
Yep.
And medical symbol on it. I mean, this
That's
should
universally
scream.
acknowledged. Anybody who picks this thing up and looks, he's got the bright colored EMT shears with the belt cutter on them.
Yeah.
So anybody who looks at this thing knows exactly what this is.
Yeah.
They may not know what some of the stuff in it is, but everybody who looks at this knows this is first aid.
And I package my kit just a little bit differently than most people. This is actually the spot where you're supposed to put your trauma shears.
Yeah.
But the way that this sits in my bag, they're too wide. So I just put them in the back. They're easy to get out. And once again, bright orange. This is where the usual tourniquet goes.
Yep.
Once again, I just run another RATS tourniquet here. Once again, bright orange, as you can kind of see the theme there. And then, I know what they're already saying. He doesn't have a real tourniquet.
Yeah.
Simply just open the front flap. This has a pull tab, and when you pull this, it pulls out all the components. And right there, RevMedics tourniquet, probably my favorite.
Yeah, one of the best
go-to.
on the market, in my opinion, too.
I think hands down, as far as one person self-application. I recently did a Go Ruck event, their urban survival, and one of the things you have to do is put a tourniquet on yourself, which sounds easy.
Sounds easy.
And then the leader's job is to just screw you up,
The whole time.
push you, pull you, swat your arm down. And what's awesome about the RevMedics is it's a ratchet. So as you start ratcheting this, it gets tighter and tighter. But they would come around and swat your arm down, push you, shove you from behind. And what most people would do would fall forward,
Let go of the windlass.
let go of the windlass, and then have to start over. Where this, I mean, you can be ratcheting it, they can come, they can push you. You could, like Chris said earlier, have to stop because you have to go back to a firearm or help somebody else, and it stays locked the entire time. And then when you get back to that safe area,
You haven't lost any tension.
you haven't lost any tension, and you go right back to ratcheting. So, this is inside of there, staged just the way I have it always. And then the actual contents of the medical kit. And this has pressure dressing. I'm trying to remember everything. 2 Halo Seals, a pair of gloves, hemostatic agent, a Mylar blanket, because a lot of times when people are bleeding out,
Shock.
when you got it, they go into shock.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing. So a Mylar blanket to be able to keep them warm. It does have a needle in there in case you had a dart, in case you had some chest injuries that you needed to take care of. All packaged in this nice, easy, to
And when
pull
we're
out.
talking about a dart, you hear us, we're talking about chest seals. And so a penetrating wound to a lung, will lead to what's called tension pneumothorax, which is air building up inside the chest cavity, which will deflate a lung. So the air is actually outside the lung, squashing the lung, like letting the air out of a balloon. So you put a chest seal on, which acts as a one-way valve. It'll let air out, but it won't let it in. And then you can use a decompression needle to actually stick it through the ribs up in the top. And I would recommend anybody who carries this stuff to get the proper training.
Yep.
There's a method to find the ribs. You penetrate the chest cavity, and it'll let that air out and allow the lung to reinflate.
Yeah.
So tension pneumothorax, when you hear someone having a chest wound, that's how they die. They suffocate. You get to where you can't breathe, and your lungs will collapse. You'll just suffocate. So this is the tools you use to prevent that. But they do require training.
Yeah.
Whereas anybody can put on a bandage and anybody can put on a tourniquet. This does go a little more advanced. It's
Agreed.
not that hard though, and there are a lot of great instructors out there
Yeah.
that give classes on how to do it.
TCCC training
Yeah,
is
yeah.
becoming a lot more
Very common.
you know.
Yeah, very common.
And I say it's a class that everybody should take. And I will say one thing too. With regards to the more advanced medical stuff in here, I think when it comes to medical, along the lines of the have it and not exactly know how to use it could still save a life.
Oh, absolutely.
You take what happened in Las Vegas. You could be the guy that's standing there with a tube to go down a nose because somebody can't breathe, and a dart needle, and have no clue what these two things are. And there could have been an EMT,
And
a
there were.
doctor, a nurse,
It's-
first responders, and they could have taken that stuff out of your hands.
And put it to use.
And put it to use.
So it's always good to have this stuff because there are professionals all around us: doctors, nurses, veterinarians,
Yeah.
paramedics, EMTs, military veterans that are medics,
Firefighters.
So having this equipment, even if you don't know how to use it, it's still good. You can roll up to a scene and be like, I know, for instance, a friend of mine rolled up to one recently. There was a ER nurse at the scene of this accident. It was a bad accident. Mm-hmm. She had nothing to work with. He had his bag. He gave it to her, and she went to work. So having the equipment is always good, even if you don't know how to use it. Go ahead and invest in it, get it, and then take the training when and as you can. But get the kit, because somebody around you will know how to use it.
So I mean, guys, you can see this is it's big, I guess.
It's big-ish.
It's big-ish, but it's not. This is big to put
This
in.
isn't.
This is big to put in your pocket. This
yeah,
is
that's
big to
huge
carry
for your
on you.
pocket,
I mean, I'm sure there's somebody that says, "Hey, I carry that kit every single day in your fanny pack or
Yeah.
something." Fine.
If that's you, don't tell us you wear a fanny pack. Just saying.
But this is fantastic for in a bag,
Yeah.
in the door of your truck,
in the door of the truck, in the
console of
car,
your
yeah.
truck. That's where I have another one of these staged. So, you talk about not huge, but if I was to show up to a serious car accident, I have my tourniquet, my quick gauze and stuff on me. I have 2 more tourniquets just in this kit that I keep in my backpack, and then I have another kit that's identical to this in the console of my truck. So now I have 5 tourniquets.
Yeah.
6 chest seals, and it starts to multiply to
yeah.
where you can help extra
lot of
people. And I will say, since the Las Vegas shooting and stuff is so prevalent, I probably wouldn't have had my backpack with me.
Not in the concert. No.
Not in the concert.
But you would have probably had these.
I would have had that on me, no doubt about it. And this is also TSA
Approved, yes.
I've gone through. I've probably gone on 20 or 50 flights
Yeah.
with this. I mean, and you take it off, they look at it, whatever,
Yeah.
send it through. The only thing that'll give you issue at times is QuikClot makes a military. It's
That
the
has
green,
yeah.
and it has an IR or a
X-ray.
X-ray chip in it.
Yeah, the sliver thing.
And that is made for if you're on the battlefield, they take you straight and take an X-ray.
Yeah.
They see it. If that was shoved into a deep leg wound or something, they're looking for the shrapnel, but they'll also know,
see
hey,
that.
they shoved
That X-ray identifier.
X-ray identify it. So that's why, but it's not in the black. But like I was going to say, I probably wouldn't have had this on me in the concert. But could I have asked my wife to carry this in her purse if she was
Sure.
carrying her purse? Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know.
Or if you had a messenger bag or something small you wanted
Yeah.
to, and it's a statement of the times we live in that we do need to start thinking this way, that, maybe we need to keep this stuff on us. And I know everybody's like, well, it's only in America that these things are happening. It's not just
No.
in America. You look at France,
Yeah.
they just found all those gas propane tanks under a truck rigged with a detonator in France the other day. They caught a couple in France with an AK-47 and an RPG yesterday, as a matter of fact, I think it was. So these things do happen. You look at the history of attacks in Europe.
Yeah.
They're happening. They're not just happening here. They're happening all over the world. So we do need to consider these things. And when you look at the numbers of injuries, people say, well, what good is it going to do? Well, that could save a life. And if
Yeah.
you save a life, that's a major accomplishment.
Yeah.
Stepping up from those, like John just said, he's got 5 tourniquets in his truck, between his kits. This is what I carry in my truck, aside from my blowout kits and stuff. I have, probably in the cab of my truck, I have 3 other tourniquets, and then I have this. This is a North American Rescue kit. This comes fully assembled, and I don't even know how many are in this one. Like right here is 2 more tourniquets, 2 more Israeli dressings right there. Up here are chest seals, more darts for airways. Down here is the combat gauze that we were talking about earlier. Inside of this bag, I'll open it so you can see it, but I'm not going to take it out because it's like a Jenga puzzle. But, well, here's one. This is a cloth litter. So you can unroll this on the ground and lay somebody on it. 2 people can pick them up and carry them away. These D-ring or these carabiners are on here because they're positioned so that if I had to by myself, I could unroll this. I could position a person on it. I pull the bottom of it up between their legs and clip these carabiners to handles on the side. I take the center carabiner and I can clip it to my belt, and I can drag somebody out by myself. So that's the purpose of this. So that's a way to move an injured person. Something like this would have been pretty valuable. Yeah. Again, not saying you may have had this inside the venue, but again, you could move somebody. And there's also a collapsible stretcher in here, full mil-spec. It's rated for aerial lift even, this stretcher is, with all the strapping and everything to secure somebody to it. It's a hard stretcher, and you can put that thing together in no time, and you can actually safely, properly move somebody. So this thing's full of Israeli dressings, gauze, quick clot, chest seals. It even has on this side here, this big pocket right here, is a hypothermia treatment kit. May not sound like we'd need that in Florida, but several years ago we had 4 Rangers die down here in training in Florida in August of hypothermia. So this thing covers a lot of bases. The kit was pretty complete when I bought it. I added a few things like additional quick clot, additional combat gauze, just Z-gauze as well. Z-gauze is a type of compressed gauze here that you can use to stuff into wounds.
Yeah, and it just keeps it.
Yeah, you
rolling
start pulling
out.
this, it just kind of keeps coming, and you can use this to pack a wound to stop bleeding. So some folks may be saying, well, I don't have that kind of training, I don't have that kind of knowledge, and there's more Israeli dressings in here, but go take a Red Cross course, go take a first aid course. You probably know someone who has medical training, you can get it there as well. Take a TCCC class, which is Tactical Combat Casualty Care, which is a very advanced class, but anybody can take it. You pay for it, you can take it. It introduces not only the tactical care of somebody, but also most of them include weapons handling and manipulation while you're trying to address some wounds. So they're very good classes to have. And this is what's in my truck. It stays in the back of my truck. It's always with me. That way, if I come across an accident or if I'm at the scene of something like that and I can assist safely, I'll do my best. But even if I'm not going to get involved, and let's just say I'm at a scene of a shooting or something, and I can pass this off to some paramedics or firefighter, cops, here, take this thing and
go.
I'll give it to them. There's a lot of money wrapped up in this thing, but it's only money.
Yeah.
And I'll
it's
give
not
it.
it's not even close to the value of life.
No, not
at all.
even. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. So having this again, I may not be the one that actually uses it, but that's why I carry it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So guys, what we really wanted to show is just a few different products that we use, a few different ways with how you can carry it. Start out small. I mean, get a tourniquet. Get some just regular gauze, that you can pack wounds with.
Yeah.
Combat gauze.
Israeli dressings are fairly inexpensive,
Exactly.
easy to get, and you see the way they're packaged too. What I opened up is the actual inner packaging. There's an outer
Yeah.
packaging on those two that I took off because it fits easier in my pocket. And that's a very heavy duty and is a very good chest seal in its own right. Provided you keep a little tape in your kit, and the way John does it, you'll have some. So there's no reason not to carry this stuff. It's not that burdensome. It's not that cumbersome. There's no reason not to have it on you, especially if you carry a gun.
Yeah, I agree. So, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to let us know. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them below. And we just wanted to, like I said, give you a quick view of what Chris and I do and what we carry, and we hope that it either sparks something in you to start carrying, or hopefully maybe it sparks something in you to get the training that's needed in order to properly use everything. But guys, we hope you have a great day and stay safe.
And I want to give a quick shout out to my buddy Skinny Medic. That's who I got this from. If you're looking for stuff, John mentioned Dark Angel, great guys. Also look at my buddy Dietrich at
Agreed.
Skinny Medic.
Agreed.
Really good people.
Alrighty, well guys, have a great one.
Till next time.